Anna? Okay.
Okay, we're official. Oskar, it's you.
Okay. So I start slowly, okay? And maybe give some time for the other people to join, but I start slowly. First off, really, I would like to thank Anna for being the midwife, I feel, to this event, to all the campfire stories, you know. Without her technical know-how and love and enthusiasm, I don't think that me or Danny would have done it, right, Danny? Or not? He's not here anyway. So thank you, Anna. And this monthly event, the Campfire monthly event, inspired me to talk about something which has been, I realize, you know, hidden in my heart, in myself for 5 decades, you know. And how did it start? Well, it started by, you know, people saying stories like I am during this campfire meeting, this online meeting. And I thought to myself initially, you know, in my kind of silly, arrogant way without helping it, you know, I said to myself, oh, you know, well, they're having fun saying stories. It's okay. But I don't have any stories to tell, you know. I just be polite, I turn up and
Oskar, sorry, Oskar, you're muted. Oskar. Oskar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sorry about that.
So how long have I been muted? How long have I been muted?
Just for about a minute, if you can back up.
50
sorry.
years.
50
years.
How long, Benny? 50
5
years?
decades.
All right,
50
excellent.
years.
Excellent, bro. Excellent analogy. You're always so smart, Benny. That's why your head is falling off. Anyway, so when this campfire online event started, I felt like, okay, I turn up to be polite kind of thing, you know, and listen, maybe something interesting comes up, but I don't have any stories to tell, you know. I mean, you know, what do I have to tell? I don't have anything to tell, you know. And 1 month passed, 2 months passed, and so I was cooking, and something told me, true, you don't have any stories. You have a story to tell. Of course, you have a story. I said, well, what kind of story? Yeah, that story, boy, your story. Oh, that story. God damn. Okay, man. And I started thinking about it, man, you know. And if I'm going too fast, let me know, please. And I realized when I was looking at it, you know, myself, that I kind of took it out of the wrapping, you know, when I was kind of looking at it. And I realized, man, that it's so freaking big, man. It's not my story, man. This everybody, the whole freaking world needs to know about it. I mean, hear about it, you know, and they do what they want with it. But at least it would be out of my baggage, man. I won't be carrying it inside, man. Because everything you're gonna hear is true. 100% happened to me. And it's really, really out of this world, man. It's fantastic. It's like a Hollywood movie, man. More than a Hollywood movie, because it's real, man. Incredible. Anyway, so I start. Yes. So it started 5 decades ago, yeah? And I say it started because it carries on. You will see, you will see. 5 decades ago. I was 18 or maybe 19, 18, 19, something like that. And of course, yeah, I was like many of my friends into motorcycles, fast motorcycles, man. And I had just got my new motorcycle, Yamaha 250. Very light, but very fast, two-stroke machine, very fast. And, as teenagers and so on, we like to be superheroes in disguise, Well, at least in most at the time, that's how we felt, most of the guys. So anyway, and I heard that some people, managed to do 100 miles an hour on the bike, So 100 miles an hour, I don't know, it's 150 or 60 kilometers an hour, And I thought, fucking shit, man, I want to do that. I want to ride this bike at 100 miles an hour, man. So anyway, one night when I was making my way back home along, Lawrence knows this road, along the coast road from a summer resort that's in Bujiba to Valletta, that's the capital city. So Malta is a small island, right? It's 9 miles across by 18 miles long, So anyway, and the coast road is, sometimes you get straight and you get bends, you get bends. But it was a nice road to speed up at the time, because I'm talking 50 years ago, right? There wasn't as much traffic as there is now, because nowadays you don't even consider it. But then it was possible. So, yeah, it was night around, I don't know, 11 o'clock maybe, at night. So I started, boom, 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 no crash helmet, because it wasn't according to it wasn't enforced. Nowadays, you gotta wear it or you get a big fine, But then it was okay. You blast your head and you fall with no crash helmet. And I wasn't wearing a crash helmet, And I was picking up speed, 60, 70, 80, and enjoying the rush of the wind into my face and pulling the teardrop, the liquid from my eyes across over into my face. It was that fast, feeling, doing, and enjoying it. And I was approaching a bend, and I don't want to let go of the throttle, because I wanted to speed up to 100, And there was a car in front of me, man. There was a car in front of me. And of course, the mind works very fast in those situations. I had to decide quickly whether to ease up on the throttle or overtake the car. I had to not to ease up the throttle meant I had to overtake the car. And a bend was coming. Right? And every driver knows you should not overtake when there is a bend, when a bend is coming. You overtake on a straight, on a straight. So you know what's coming, man. You know what's coming. And I thought, man, I'm gonna overtake, man. I don't care, man. I'm gonna overtake. I'm moving very fast. I will do it in split of a second, and I can handle the bike, man. I can handle it. And I'm overtaking. And I thought, man, before I went into the bend and overtaking, I also went to only some stupid idiot, crazy guy would overtake an event, right? So I risk it, man. I do it, man. I do it. So I wanted to do bend. Wow, I'm overtaking the car, man. Oh! And what do you know, bro? Somebody on the opposite side had the same freaking idea, man. And in a car. In a car, man. And you have to keep this in mind. The roads in Malta, they're not as wide as the roads in big countries, you know, like America and so on and this and that. 4 lane, you know. When you have width, you can kind of maneuver, you know. But the road at the time was like a wide 2 lane, so kind of 3 cars can by, you know. So shit, man. I'm bending, man, going to 80, 90 miles an hour, you know. And this guy, he's coming with the car in the opposite direction, and I'm in the middle. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. God damn. Wow. Ooh. Oh, man, geez. Ooh, I operated the bike, and I slammed on the brakes, man, the front and the back, you know, so I don't skid that. I'm pressing as hard as I can, but wow, I'm still going, man. I'm still going, and he's coming, man. He's coming. And I see the headlights of the car, the radiator. It's like 6 feet away, man, or 10 feet away. That's, you know, close, and I start screaming, man. I'm gonna die, man. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die, man. I'm screaming. I wasn't saying anything, but in my heart, I knew that I was going to end up as corned beef on the fucking windscreen, man. I was gonna get smashed up, complete. Wow, screaming, pressing the brakes. Wow. Suddenly, pop! I'm on the opposite side of the road and moving very slowly, man. 5 miles an hour or something, and we just tick like this with the handbrake. It stopped. That's how slow I was going. And I'm still filled up with adrenaline, you know, and what? So I turned around and I looked. I screamed abuse at the guy, you know. You know, being the young tough guy, you know. I screamed abuse at him, and inside I'm terrified, man. What the shit happened inside? My body was asked, what the fuck happened? What happened, man? What happened, man? So anyway, the car sped off, you know, and carried on like nothing. And boom. And I'm like on this coast road, you know, in the dark, in the moon, and I'm like, what the shit happened, man? What the shit happened, man? I'm gonna die, man. I'm 6 feet away from death, certain death. And I'm suddenly on the opposite side of the road, and I'm moving slow, and then, what the, in my heart, what the shit happened, man? And I drove home very, very, very slowly, man, very slowly. So I got home, I went to sleep as if I'm drunk, which I wasn't, yeah. And next day I woke up as if I am in a dream. Totally, well, not totally, I mean, of course, I mean, I still could talk and react and respond to the situation, but I was like a man in a dream. It wasn't real, you know, this everything around me was not real, man. What happened, man? What happened, man? You know, and I didn't say anything to anyone, because who would believe me, man? Who would believe me, man? No one. No one. Not even my parents, my friends, my motors, nobody, man. I said it to no one. You know? And I was in that state for just 2 days, man. Just 2 days. On the third day, I don't know what happened. I don't know. But my unconscious, my protective whatever, I think, somehow grabbed this memory and put it down deep in my unconscious, in the back drawer, man. And I started acting normally again, slowly, slowly. It's like, never happened, man. Never happened. It never happened, man. And that was the only way I could negotiate in the normal life. The only way. Forget it, man. Never have any. Forget it, bro, man. Just forget it, man. Like, imagine, I don't know, like, imagine, yeah? Imagine. You see a side that's all out of this world, you know, that only you will see it, right? And you're sure you've seen it, you've seen it, yeah? You see a chicken smoking a cigar on a deck chair, for example, reading a newspaper, let's say, yeah? And this chicken brushes you with the wing and tells you, how are you doing, bro? And disappears. And disappears. Are you gonna tell me, hey man, I saw a chicken smoking a cigar, man, and she told me, how are you doing? And she disappeared. Would you say that to anyone? I don't think so, yeah? I don't think so. Because that's how crazy this situation was for me. I said it to nobody, man. No one. I just went into the unconscious, man. I forgot. That never happened, man. I didn't see a chicken smoking a cigar, bro. Never happened, man. No. Never happened. Anyway, I forgot it. Yeah, I mean, it went down there. It wasn't like a conscious decision, you know. This is what I want to highlight. I didn't say like, oh, I should forget it, you know. On the third day, I just woke up kind of normal, you know. And I lived kind of normal life, you know, and everything. And around 12 years later, I was, of course, around 30 at the time. I heard. Maybe Lawrence heard of this lady, but I don't know, maybe not. At the time, there was a psychic lady, a local psychic lady, a clairvoyant, kind of fortune teller, yeah? She was making big time fame. Not official, you know, word of mouth, but now it's a small country, so word spreads quickly, you know. She was getting queues of people, you know, and she was, of course, charging them money to give them readings and so on, you know. And everybody was so impressed by her ability, her psychic ability. And of course, you know, I was always interested in the unknown and the strange words and so on. So I thought, I try this lady, man. I see what what she says about me, man. You know, I mean, maybe I ask her some stuff, see what she comes up with. So yeah, I joined the queue, bro. I joined the queue. I made an appointment and I went to her house and I joined the queue, man. I waited. So it was in a kind of slummy area of the town of where she lived. I'm not going to say her name or her place because I want to protect her. I want to protect her identity, you know. It was from a poor background, you know, poor background. Anyway, I was there, and then my turn came up, and I went in, excited, you know, to hear what she's gonna say, and maybe I ask her some stuff about me and this and that, and see what she comes up with. And anyway, so I went in, and it was a dark room, kind of dark room, you know. It was morning, but it was all closed, and there was no natural light. Very dim light, kind of dim light. And it was the first time I saw her, you know. And she was an artificial blonde. But she was very fair, you know, kind of plump and kind of sexy, you know, but kind of rude sexy. kind of like a kind of gypsy, and very bubbly, full of energy, and this blonde hair, and she had a kind of flower hair and big gold earrings, just like a typical movie fortune teller. Well, I'm telling you. And the moment I went in, she said, hey, you, what you doing here? Come here. And she got off the bed because it was in her bedroom, the reading, And she got me by the wrist, got me by the wrist, and kind of pulled me in. Come, she told me. And she put me like sit on the bed, on the corner of the bed. And on her side, on the side of the bed from where she was working, she had a crystal ball. Yeah, she had a crystal ball, man. I'm telling you, movie stuff. I'm telling you. She had a crystal ball and fortune telling cards. And she sat on the bed, man. And the way she sat was man, you guys, I think most of you have seen the movie of Sharon Stone, yeah, where she showed them when she had her famous interview with the police, and that was exactly what happened to me. She sat on the bed. She was wearing knickers, yeah, under her dress. But she said one leg like this, and her leg, the other one straight like that. And I could see her knicker and her hair, right? And she's sitting right in front of me there, and she had the crystal ball there close to her middle of her legs. And I thought, shit, what the fuck is going on, man? Inside of me, Anyway, and she told me, I'm gonna take off my jersey because I'm getting hot. Eh? Oh man, it's hot stuff, man. Oh man. So she told me, now, and I haven't said a word, that is then. Just like hello and nothing else. And she said, no, let's see what you're doing here. She said, let's see. And she looked at her crystal ball. She looked at her crystal ball. And I'm going to try to be here, kind of, try. And she told me, oh, I see death rushing up to eat you with big glaring eyes and wide open mouth. And I thought, this woman, she's bloody crazy. What the hell is she talking about, man? Inside of myself, She said, and then, wow, man, it hit me, man. It hit. God damn it, man. Wow. The headlights of the car, they're the glaring eyes. And the radiator is the mouth, man. Oh, shit, I was frozen, man. Frozen. And I thought to myself, no wonder this woman has got such a reputation, man. I didn't say a word to her. I didn't never say the story to anyone. And she, goddamn it, got me in just a few seconds, man. Boom! I see that rushing up at you, speeding up at you with big glaring eyes and wide open mouth. Wow, Jesus, man, the car, goddamn. I'm pressing hard on the brakes, and I'm rushing in, man. Wow, Jesus. So she's got all my attention, right? She's got all my attention, man. I mean, she's true, man. She's the truth, man. And she did this, man. She did this. She tells me, and I see the blessed Maria Madonna, man, in the sky. And she's looking at you. And she picks you up and put you on the other side of the road. God damn it, man. It's the truth. It's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Oh, man. And I'm like, Oh, and I think to myself, so that's what happened, man. How? I mean, I don't know, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I don't know. What else in this whole universe has the power to do such a thing, man? Two vehicles rushing at each other, man. Total speed of, was maybe doing same speed, 160 miles an hour. Oh, yeah. And then I whoop, 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 just whoop, whoop, and my vehicle is on the opposite side of the road and it's moving at 5 miles an hour. You know? So, Jesus Christ, man. Of course, yeah, she called Maria Madonna. Well, you can call her Canceon, man. You can call her, I don't know what. Mother Nature. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she was an alien. I don't know. Because I heard an alien abduction story so, as well. Almost so crazy. Of pilots being pulled out of the plane and examined and then put back on the plane and the plane is still flying. I heard those stories. Are they true? Not true? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. I really, really don't know. What I do know is that I experienced this, man. I really did. It's not a shit story. It's the truth. You know? So, yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's the, yeah, and it brings up a lot of questions. You know, it brought me like, you know, did I die? Is this life after death? You know? And I don't know, man. I don't know. Are these people ghosts? Am I a ghost? Is this really happening, man? Is this really happening? You know? And if it really happened, why come this happened to me and not to other people? You know? Why? You know? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yes. Yeah. So that's the story. And like, why did it? Why? You know, why? Being reserved for something special, like, but I haven't done anything special, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. That I know of, I know. So that's happened around 38 years ago, the second part of the story, you know? Now, about 2 years ago, 2 years ago, because it's got a kind of an epilogue, you know? 2 years ago, I was again on two wheels, but this time on a bicycle. And most Sundays I like to go cycling. And lately I've been going a lot of time on my own. I like to go in the country, you know, what's left of it, and, you know, and enjoy it, you know, just enjoy it. Sunday mornings, usually, you know. And I was on my usual ride, you know, and narrow country road, very winding, and, you know. And as I'm pedaling, enjoying it, you know, I see a chameleon crossing the road. And, you know, chameleons, they walk very slowly, man. You know, boom, boom, and stop and look and walk, and very slow, very slow. So I passed it. And as I passed him, I sensed that this guy is in trouble, gonna be in trouble. Because I had just passed a car, or I could hear a car coming from behind. And I saw another car approaching down the road. And I thought, he's gonna get squashed, man. He's gonna die. So I turned back. I picked him up, pick him up gently, and I put him across the road onto the nearby field where he is safe, into the field. And when I put him down on the field, his head went like this. And fucking shit, man. When he did that, Jesus Christ, in my heart. He did the same movement that I did when the same thing happened to me. I went, what the hell is happening, man? He did the same thing, And I rode back home and what the hell is going on in this world, man? In this universe, man? So the chameleon is me, and I'm Kanzayon. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure the chameleon thought I'm some kind of superpower or something like that, So maybe, I don't know, maybe different levels of existence, some kind of super beings exist. I don't know. Because, this is like an onion skin, isn't it? Like an onion, you cut it and there are levels. And this is the level that we see, man. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. But the epilogue, man, it's wow. It was like, gee, man, Woo! That's it, baby. Open. Now I appreciate you being here, giving me this opportunity to share with you this story, man. And thank you, because it's not mine anymore. And of course, you can talk about it. And it was a challenge for me, because I didn't know that Anna was recording these talks and putting them on YouTube. She's laughing, look at her. And when I realized that, I thought, shit, man, she's gonna put me on YouTube, man. They're gonna hear this crazy stuff, man. But you know what we say in Zen, don't be afraid of the real dragon, man, I thought it was going to be shared just with the Zirkel guys, but, well, she's going to put it on YouTube, man, so it's completely out of control now.
No, I don't think it's on YouTube.
No.
If it's on you, it is on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, I have it so that I can put it on our blog, but it's not, it's unlisted. It's not like.
All right. As you said, that's my cyber knowledge. I'm sorry. I thought it was, because every time I press a link, the link on the, for example, I saw Jason's talk, and it was exactly like a YouTube connection,
Well, I appreciate if it was out there, even thinking that you go ahead anyway, because this is really, if someone gets into it and they sit with it, will blow their mind. Because I could get into the adrenaline, the way you describe it and things like that. And I should just shush. I don't want a whole lot of words from me, but I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. It's a great story, and I'm so glad you shared it. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's not just a story, it's reality. And
yeah, man, I'm telling you,
and how you told it,
about the subject of compassion, man. It makes me question myself, and also the teachings, man, because I say to my son, I say to my nephew, you got to consider the consequences, son. If you jump into water, you're going to get wet. It's very simple. You go in front of a speeding truck, you're going to get squashed, man. You got to think, but it's not true, man. Not all the time. That's what I mean. It's not all the time, that is true. In this case, it wasn't true, man. I threw myself, man, into that dangerous situation. Compassion or whatever, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just poop, poop, So, but most of the time, you can say most of the time you'll get wet. Most of the time you'll get squashed. And don't risk it. Because chances are that nobody will intervene, son. Yeah.
I think it's also really poignant that it was a chameleon, which is a symbol of, I mean, that is something to unpack. And your story, it sounds like you're a chameleon, maybe we're all chameleons. I thought that was beautiful.
Oskar, your story gives me hope.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
This is amazing story.
Yeah. And you were into motorcycles too, and so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? You know what I'm talking about, man. That's
for sure.
A big pulled out, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. I mean,
motorcycles are crazy, but they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. They're great fun, man. I was enjoying every second.
I'm glad I get to live a little vicariously through you guys. I'll never have that pleasure, but I could feel the speed and feel the adrenaline and feel the whole, like I face the abyss and the story goes beyond where I can be right now. But I'm like, okay, at least it brings up a little bit of the doubt and to be able to. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. You're so aware when you're on a motorcycle. Like you're just hyper aware. I really like it. And when you're drunk, it's even more fun. Just kidding.
Yeah, I drive better when I'm drunk. No, but to think you
Me
have
too. I drive better when I'm drunk too.
Oh God.
No, but to
Just
think
kidding.
you've got this on the bike and you're just going to take that big risk and you rolled the dice and you failed.
Right.
Somebody else was there to say, hey, I've got you this time. And that's, I mean, anybody who believes in that safety net is totally shenanigans, but it had you this time.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Could I tell a little story? It's not as interesting or as long as yours, but it's basically a little bit in the same kind of theme. Only the guy that this actually happened to was not so lucky. So is that okay? So I was working. This is a long time ago, long before I met Oskar, and so it's at least 40 years ago. And I was working, and I was going to sessions at that time, and I was working just saving up money to go to more sessions. That's basically what my life was for 15 or 20 years. And I was working with this young guy, and I wasn't that old myself, but he was much younger. He was only about 18, 19, I think. I was about 26, 27. And we walked from the station we worked together, and we walked from the station, and he met a bunch of his friends and decided to, we were going to work, and he decided to walk faster with his friends. And I was into doing the thinking stuff, the mindfulness and everything, and going slowly, and I was and there was time, so I wasn't in a hurry. And I saw him do the most incredibly foolish thing. He walked up with a bunch of his friends, all his friends, 3 or 4 of them, walked up to this dual carriageway where these cars, it's rush hour, right? And these cars are going at like 80 miles an hour along 2 carriageways with 2 lanes in each. And there was no way that I kept looking at it and I thought, no, oh God, no, this has got to be crazy. The first 3 guys, they got across the road. And something started happening to me at that point because I was so immensely one with these kids, kids, the boys. And I just, I was afraid for them and, well, all the rest of it, you can imagine. And then suddenly he was the last one and he wasn't quick enough. And this car hit him in the legs and he went up in the air. And I was just like, this guy was me and I'm him. And there was no space between time actually totally stopped, even though I have a memory of how things happened. He spun through the air with his arms and, well, you can't see it, but his arms and legs, like out like that. And he spun like a star through the air. I don't know, I couldn't measure time because I don't know how long it took, but he went up in the air and came down on the crash barrier. And at one point I threw my arm across my face because I couldn't take anymore. It was like, I don't know, I just, that was me that was kind of flying around there. And so I ran, there's an underpass there, which is where we should have gone. And I ran through the underpass and came out the other side, by which time some of the cars had stopped, but they had to walk, or run maybe 200 yards because they were going so fast. They had to run all the way back to him, and we all got there together, and he was in a terrible state and screaming. And and then at that point, time started again, and it went on. As the time came back, the me came back, and the sense of panic and the sense of fear, and because we had no cell phones in those days, so nobody could, that we had to wait till somebody drove off to a phone box and called for an ambulance. So we waited for the ambulance. They took him away, and I was late for work and got chewed up about that, and so it was very weird. But it was afterwards extremely painful experience. I never saw him again because he was, I think, a long time in hospital. But the strange thing for me, it was really the first time I had a real sense of, it doesn't make any sense to say that, I had a sense of, there was no sense of me for quite some time. There was just stuff happening, and that was that. So that's what came up for me with your story anyway.
Good stories, guys. Thank you very much. It's late where I am. I'm going to bed. Have a good
Jason,
day, everyone.
Thanks for being here, Jason.
Thank you, Jason, for coming.
Yeah, have a nice
Thank
evening.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
See you soon. Gosh, it's it's an interesting theme. And Oskar, when you mentioned it during your story, and it comes up again, for me listening to Laurent's story is, something that I think about not every day, but almost every day. And that is, having had close calls myself, how do I know I didn't die? Maybe this is the after world. And that comes up a lot. And you're the only other person that I've ever heard say that, but it's a beautiful, I think probably for maybe people that haven't had a practice, I don't know, maybe it would be pretty terrifying, but I'm appreciative of my practice, that I think maybe this is the, maybe this is the afterlife, and, and that's just fine. It keeps going, who knows? But Lawrence, yours, the fact that you were in this situation where you were having this, well, and you, Oskar, it sounds like you kind of had it with the chameleon too. I still think that's really interesting that it was a chameleon, but how Lawrence, you were in that state, in such a Zen state, that you felt, that was part of you, that was, yeah, it's, wow. I think we could, I think all of us are going to be unpacking all of these, all of this for quite a while. What a gorgeous.
You guys can allow me to question like continuity of consciousness, or the notion of me-ness, all this stuff in Buddhism that you might trot out and say, hey, let's throw it back and forth for our intellect, or for whatever, to look good or whatever, all these things that I have in that box. The stories you guys have been through is helping me to separate from that and to take the teachings deeper. And Roshi couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And somehow I don't know if any one of us could do that as a human being, but it's the supernatural component of your stories that to me are striking at the heart of the matter of practice. Because you almost have to look at it as if it's a movie, because it's not quite my experience or my story or whatever, but the movie really hits home for me. And how all of these details kind of fit in with me and with everything. I don't know, it's doing something that is just to be with, is just to be being with, and that my linear mind can't quite process it. So, but it's a real sort of embodied teaching for me. It's actually breaking up a lot of the stuff that I haven't gone through. I don't know. I'm sort of rambling a little bit, but I hope I can impart some of what has happened and is continuing to happen for me with what you shared.
Thank you, Sam.
Well, and thank you everybody, for Anne and for Oskar and for Lauren. I think it was
Lawrence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for sharing, and I appreciate the space where we can share. And if dreaming happens and things are unpacking, or the subconscious or whatever the heck may be happening, I just appreciate that's it's okay to go through whatever part of the journey has to do with me. My words aren't doing it justice. I just want to say thanks, and that'll do for today.
Yeah, Sam, you just said a word which clarified my process during the last few days. You said your stories got me, something like this. You said your stories got me out of my linear world, And these last couple of days, as this evening was approaching, my mind would replay the scene that I described to you in the story, And it took, now I see what happened, because my eyes, I'm not like crying, but tears would start coming down my face, Because it feels like now, 50 years later, I'm starting to kind of appreciate what happened, man. What happened, man? What is this, man? I mean, this is what is compassion in action. Man. Boom. Why care for this being, man? I mean, what's so special about this being, man? There are billions like this guy, man. Billions. What? But it cares, man. It cares, yeah. If it cares for this guy, it cares for all. But then, I don't know. I mean, you know, and I would be preparing some food, and tears would flow down, man, because what Sam said made me realize that I lived a linear life, man, and dumped this, man, dumped it. Because you cannot negotiate linear life if you stay in that space, you know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so anyway, it's a reminder that everything is not really what it looks like. Man. You know, it's not really what it looks like, man. It's deeper, man, deeper.
Oskar, you just said something that yeah. You know, working with these kids in Gaza and, you know, feeling all this guilt, you know, because I'm having like all these messages now from, you know, I mean, now people are so desperate. So I'm getting direct messages, you know, we need money. And I can't even imagine what it's like there. I'm sure it's a fucking hellhole run by mafia or whatever. But, you know, and there's a lot of people trying to help. But what you just said about compassion happening like that, you know, there's so many people, myself included, and we rationalize and think, you know, myself and others were thinking, rationalizing, how do we be compassionate, and like you with the chameleon, you know, or Lawrence, you know, with your friend, you know, it's just, maybe it have, I don't want to judge that kind of compassion, but then it sounds like, you know, like in these examples, it's the compassion that happens when you're not thinking about it. It's just like, you know, whether you are the Kanzeon or you're the one lifting up the, just acting spontaneously when you're not, you know, feeling like your usual self, just something that happens in a blink. That's, I'm gonna say I'm gonna think about that, but I think that's interesting, pretty powerful.
Yeah. What? Because I was thinking like this today, you know, like, because if I was rationalizing, I mean, it acted in my case. Why not act like with the kids in Gaza, man? No, I was saying to myself, you know. But then it's rational, this little mind trying to understand the universe, man. I mean, come to me, you know? You know?
Well, and how do we fix things, you know?
Yeah. Because as Sam said, our mind is a linear mind. It's a linear mind. It doesn't, I mean, you can't grasp it, you can't understand it, man, you know? So I don't know, yeah.
And yet we keep trying.
Yeah.
Gosh, you may have just, it makes me think about AI. People are so worried about AI. And when you say the mind is a linear mind, you know, I'm thinking about the, you know, the neurons and the, you know, what's happening electrically, you know, with the potency or whatever. And it's basically zeros and ones, right? And, you know, like AI and I don't know if you guys use Chat GPT or whatever it's called, which I call Chatty because Chatty's my new best friend. But, you know, Chatty also, you know, Chatty's a little chatty and like what you just said, really linear and lacks that, you know, immediate everythingness that I think you experience, that we experience when we're in that, I don't know, however you can describe it, state. Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
And what you're talking, I was somehow reminded, you know, of another perspective, which came to my mind these last couple of days. when I was thinking about this story. What about the other fellow man in the car or lady? I don't know. I couldn't see the driver. You know, he's seeing a motorcycle man rushing at him. Okay, he's in the car, he's more protected. Yeah, but still, it's dangerous, man. The motorcycle can smash through the windscreen and kill the driver, right? It can at those speeds, yeah? What did he feel? What did he say? Motorcycle? Boom, no motorcycle. What's going on? I don't know. What happened to him? I would like to meet this guy or woman or this driver. I would like to meet this driver. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What did they say, man? I mean, and they carried on speeding, I remember. I saw his taillights. You know? He didn't like stop and, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't even, yeah.
Time works in mysterious ways.
It does, man. It does.
And my eyes are just kind of being open to how time is and how I am and how I relate with things. And a lot of things I take for granted, you know, and a lot of it is we could talk about the problem like a koan or whatever, but a lot of it is too, it's out of respect and reverence for just natural life, what has happened, what you shared today, that I don't want to put a lot of me in my, oh, let's talk about ChatGPT now or a language or something, because I really have a passion. But at this point, I'm like, well, what is passion? What is God? What is this and that? And the responses that I'm getting back are so radically different than even 1 hour ago that I can't help but believe I'm tapped into something, even the enormity of what you've shared or what you have been through, or that chameleon looking at it like, what is this alien thing doing to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, the way he moved his head was like, what happened, man? You know, I mean, 1 minute I'm crossing the road, now I am in the field, man, you know? For me, it's so simple. For him, it's not. And if you relate it to what happened to me, maybe the same thing happened, you know, at some other level. I don't know.
Well, Kanzeon or whoever, they have 2 hands, right? And maybe, I don't know the iconography, maybe Danny knows better. Does Kuan Yin have many hands? Like thousands hands? So maybe, maybe it's an opportunity to help many people at once.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's our linear mind that limits it to just 2 hands, yeah? He's got all the hands in the universe, man. All the past, present, and future hands are hers, you know? Oh,
or paws.
Yeah.
Or cat paws.
Or cat paws.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the great story, and I realized what a great storyteller you are, Oskar. And also, it reminded me, you told us a while ago about your experience with filmmaking, that you took part in a film, and when you told this story, I saw a film like a script ready to be made, because the way you said it, it was like it was just waiting for a director to make a film out of it, because it's ready, it's already there. I don't know if it's for an hour and a half, but certainly for several minutes of a very, very intense movie, it's already there. So let me ask you about your experience with movies, the other things. How is it going? And if there is anything you can share with us about it.
Marek, not much, because as I said, I was just an ordinary extra, you know, a person in a crowd, you know. I wasn't like, I didn't even speak, you know, just moving with the other people, you know. For me, it was an impressive, very impressive experience, because, yeah, I'm going to reveal the name, I don't care. They paid me now, so they cannot take the money. It's Gladiator 2. Gladiator 2, you know? And the scene when I saw it the first time, the arena, it's very impressive, man. So, wow, it's like real, man, you know? It was so real. I was checking out whether it's real marble or not, and it's all carton and plaster and so on, nothing real. But when you look at it, they're so crafted, the guys, you know. When you look at it, you think it's real, you know. And I felt like I was in ancient Rome, man, you know. And my part was to be a senator. I was just wearing the senator's clothes, you know, and there were a lot of senators, you know, and there was the emperor, and it actually works on you, you know, when the environment builds up the act, it somehow sinks in, no, you don't resist it, you know. And yeah, so now I am waiting for my next contract, and I'm thinking about how much money I'm gonna ask them, because they like my part so much that the director is afraid that the Gladiator 2 may be a bust.
Gosh, Oskar, I'll be surprised if you don't get calls for your next movie.
Ancient Rome.
That includes old men.
Ancient Rome, it reminded me of the Indiana Jones that is transported. I don't know if you have seen this movie. He finds some contraption that allows him to travel through times, and he's transported into this Roman times or maybe a Greek, or at least antiquity. I think it was Roman, and then back again. So I thought this experience with filmmaking is a little bit like this through time.
Yeah. It is.
So the Indiana Jones is in our age. The Harrison Ford is, or even a little bit older than us, and I realize we like to see the heroes in the movies in a similar group age that we are, that we can identify with. So. An old Indiana Jones and tired with life. And so.
That's our speciality, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Marek. That's a totally different topic, but I really appreciate. I'm so tired of age bashing, and you know, and I know that, you know, you all, you know, you're exercising and staying healthy and working, and I really appreciated that he had a movie where he was an old guy, but he was still, you know, the hero, and I think we need more like that. So thank you.
Oh, I see your cat.
Yeah, finally he left. Oh, sorry, Marek.
No, that's actually, no. That was the interesting part, the Seymour.
Seymour, come back.
We want to see more of Seymour.
Yes, we want to see more of Seymour. Sam, can I ask a question? Your eyes, yeah. Can you see? You said you have glaucoma. Can you see at all, or is it 100%?
No, I can see light. I have light perception, but that's all. I can't see anything else.
Okay.
So, and I've been talking to other blind people lately about whether you see in your dreams, and for blind people who've gone blind, they can still see after a long, long time, even being blind. They see in color. They see just the way that they used to see all the time. And I don't do that, but I wonder if big mind is sort of a trick to get into the transcendent. Is there a way I trick myself into being able to see? You know, I think maybe there is. So anyway, I don't know if that is relevant for you guys, but how life-changing these kind of seemingly supernatural experiences are that were shared today. It gives me wonder about, you know, in between breaths, in between moments of time, in between most of the time where human beings don't go. Is that where the real stuff is? Like when you sit zazen, and if you pay attention, is that where, say, my brain is processing visually? Because I think so. It's just so crazy. I don't know how to process it, but it doesn't mean it's not there, you know? So put my brain to work. I don't know, maybe you guys have situations in your lives like that, but it takes running up against a threshold in a weird way, where as a human being, 99.9%, you're never going to question, can I go through that? Or, you know, LSD, okay, so we get it, but you know, it would take something real supernatural. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm adequate in showing you people, if something like that happens, for you to be aware of it. You know, because it could just be for me, oh, that's just a little imagination or whatever, but it could be visual. And I don't know. To my human instinct says I'm a little lost at this point, but I think it's really rich what anyone who shares, whether it's me or anybody, and the way that we're listening to the shares, what can happen between us. So it's not about me, but I hope that it all helps us in the greater conversation that's life's presenting through us and to us, you know.
Well, everything that's visual is also an illusion, you know. I think at least that's my experience of it, and maybe Oskar's story also kind of demonstrated that. Maybe what we think we see is overrated a little bit. I don't know. Danny, we haven't heard from you.
Okay.
I'm a little bit bowled over. I mean, I had a motorbike accident, and lots of strange things happened when I was younger. So it was just making me reflect on my misspent teenage years. But something that kept coming back was, you remember Michel? You all know Michel Dubois, no?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had a car accident in America sometime 20, 30 years ago. And he was convinced for a decade that he was dead. He was absolutely convinced.
Wow.
And then my crazy tech guys in the cafe this morning, friends, were saying, oh yeah, you know, Elon Musk says 95% chance we're in a quantum simulation anyway. So it's quite hard to find people that believe in reality these days.
95% chance of
that we live in a quantum simulation.
Okay.
I'm more worried
yeah,
about all these
whatever.
people. Go ahead.
No. I was just blabbing. You speak, Sam.
I talk a lot though. I'm sorry I don't shut up right away with the Zoom, but please feel free to take the floor anytime, you know. But I mean, I'm more worried about the people who are living in the linear world and who are convinced this is it. You know, and that key thing that they don't have a clue how it is, but they have got it that way, and that is it. And that is our government. And so I'm so blessed to be with you guys as we share like this, and as we perhaps create just a little bit of counterculture to where the world is not fixed. I don't care how much you try to make it that, like the America called marijuana a deadly narcotic because they said so, and oops, well, it's kind of different now. I don't know. And wow, and we're really anyway, you know. Yeah, I don't think that really went the way that I felt it would, but it's mind-blowing the way things are, and that maybe we're an opportunity for it to evolve differently. I truly believe that with Konzion and with you guys and what we're doing and everything, you know. But I don't know how he calculates a 95% chance. Are you sure there's not a decimal point in there somewhere? I don't.
That was hysterical. What did you say, Danny? It's hard to find people who believe in reality these days.
It's hard to find people in reality. you'd have to check out his video or whatever it is on the internet or his YouTube where he talks about the simulation. But I didn't pay a lot of attention to it, and I don't pay a lot of attention to it down the cafe either. It's just too much to take on board.
I think I need to go for a walk to come back to the linear world.
No, Oskar, you spent 50 years trying to get to this point now. Come on.
You guys, I love you so
can-
much. Thank you so much for doing
Thank
this.
you.
Did you? If anybody wants to continue, I can leave this open and you can stay on. Otherwise, yeah, I think I need
I need
up
to have
and
a
walk
rest
around.
for 10 minutes.
I really
Yes.
appreciate your attention. I thank you very much.
Yeah, I love the whole thing, and unfortunately, I have a date with an exceptionally large bowl of spaghetti, so I have to go and
Okay,
take care of
lovely.
that.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you,
for
Oskar.
me, huh?
Yeah, great to see you, Oskar. Thank you, Anna, for organizing all of this, and thanks to everyone for being here.
Thank you.
Yes.
A wonderful campfire.
Right.
Yes. Okay, you
Yeah.
guys who haven't done a campfire, think about your campfires coming up. Oskar, thank you so much for doing it today. This was phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
I love you.
Thank
I won't
you.
make
And
this
feel
too
free to
awkward.
share this story. Tell the world. Tell the world.
And we'll
then-
write the book and make the movie, Oskar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
not,
you
baby?
better own it now before someone scoops it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
copyright it.
Yeah.
Oscar, we're
Yeah.
going to copyright it.
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
Bye
Oh,
bye.
love you.
Bye,
Bye.
boss.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.